Fortnite is quite literally about to die, right? And it's not even quite literally about to die. Fortnite, it really does feel like it's dying, right? It really does feel like it's dying, even from the beginning, okay? When I first, saw a lot of these crazy new stuff that they've been, adding, these awesome things. Oh my God, Naruto? Oh my God. I think there was a rumor, it was like they paid $100 million for Naruto and Family Guy and like all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God, they paid this much money. They paid this much money. How are they earning more money? And I looked at it and I saw like, creative modes, people making, creative maps and these stuff. They earn money off of these maps. And I'm like, they earn 40% of Fortnite, like in general, 40% of Fortnite revenue goes to people, in creative mode. Those people earn money from that? That's crazy. And then I also look at stuff like, the Epic Games Store, and I look stuff like, that one car games I forgot, Rocket League and Fall Guys and all these stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, how are they making money if these games are not like, like just being stable enough to earn enough money for Epic Games to somehow, some way, still keep, like revenuing with that money, if that makes sense. Like, what I'm trying to say is these games are not making enough money for Epic Games to coexist, right? The only reason why Epic Games is still even alive is literally because Fortnite is there. Fortnite is one of the biggest games that they have. If not, that's the game that they focus on, to the point where if they want to, like, let's say, sponsor a game or something, they would just go on Fortnite. Which is crazy to me, right? So I'm like, so how in the world are they like regenerating money, right? From the very beginning, I saw a lot of these signs and a lot of these things, and I've always wondered, how are they making money? So then I was surprised, like last year, hey, Fortnite, 1,000 people got laid off, okay? And then this year, the same reason, and it's literally because they're not making enough money for them to get paid, right? And I think this is like one of the biggest reasons why I think, they're losing a lot of money. And that's literally because they're spending too much money, right? I know he joked around and said, he can spend money for days and all that stuff. But the reality is, you still have a limited amount of money you can spend, right? Like for, like, say, I don't know, taxes, savings, and all these stuff. If you really think about it, you only have a limited amount of money that you can spend on this game, right? And that limit is a lot higher than most people expect. But then what I see is them doing a whole bunch of collabs and a whole bunch of these awesome things, which is pretty cool. And then I look at it and I'm like, how are they generating money? For example, right? Let's say, and this is one of the biggest examples, right? Let's say like they make 2 collabs, okay? One collab, they spend 10 million and then the next spends 20 million, right? But then if they only make like $5 million, they're losing a ton of money. And another thing is, they keep making, they keep spending money and keep doing a lot of these collabs. And the thing is, players don't have infinite money. Like a regular worker like me from a 9 to 5, they don't have infinite money to, buy these games, right? So when they spend a whole bunch of money within all that stuff and then expect people to buy even more skin packs, right? I just look at it and I'm like, this is not how it goes, right? I feel like a lot of times they go on and like they like spend so much on like skin, they spend so much on creative, and they spend a lot of things on a lot of different things. And another thing I think why Fortnite is dying is also because of creative mode, right? And I think people expressed this a long time ago when they even first came out, how people got better way too fast, right? I mean, this is the battle royale mode, right? This is a game where it's supposed to be fun because it's battle royale, right? And I think it lost its battle royale-ness, I guess I like to call it, because creative mode existed. Because creative mode existed from the very beginning, like low-key, like if you really think about it, right? If you get really good at a game at some point, and everybody gets good in this game at some point, like the newer players will not be here, right? And then eventually it's just going to be the older players, and then by then nostalgia hits because the game changed so much, and you're not attracting newer players, right? You're just attracting all these older players, and then you'll have, you know what I'm saying? It's complicated. But then not only that, you also have a whole bunch of different modes and a whole bunch of different things and a whole bunch of these crazy things that sure is really fun, but you're not attracting enough players to go into the game and have fun. Again, at some point, I swear, Battle Royale was like 60,000 players a day. I'm being serious, right? And I looked at it. I thought, Fortnite had 1 million players a day or 2 million, right? But I was really shocked when I saw like the numbers, like 60,000 or like 100,000 only. A game that literally, has so much players, But the biggest reason why it's so low is literally because they have so much crazy modes out there, right? And it's not going to give them enough money. And like, here's the thing about the internet, okay? Here's the thing. This is how you make money off the internet. It's not you guys going ahead and just say, hey, I'm going to make 1,000 things on the internet and boom, I'll generate money. This is the internet, okay? Meaning you have to think a little bit different because this is an online currency, if you really think about it. Think of this as an online thing, okay? So you'll have to understand something. In the real world, right, the more items that a person makes, right, they'll make more money because people are going to use it more. So if let's say you make a water bottle, let's say regular water, and then you make soda at the same time. Well, the more, items that you make in the real world, people's going to buy, and it's going to generate from you, and from that business, you're just going to be ultimately rich. If that makes sense, right? Like, I'll also give you another example. Let's say a pencil, right? You make a whole different type of pencil. Well, you're still going to generate more money so you can keep making these pencils, right? Online is a little bit different. It's pretty much the same thing, but you're not always online, right? Meaning, the more stuff that you make, actually, it's more consequences than most people expect. It's not like more products equal more, you know what I'm saying? Online, it's, why is this entertaining enough for me to go on in there, right? Like when I'm making a YouTube video, I think this is also like really important for games too, but like, let's say when I'm making a YouTube video, I always ask the question, why in the world can't someone watch my YouTube channel? What's the purpose for me to upload? Well, for me, it's just me being a jackass, right? I literally have no purpose. Like, I swear to God, like, I'm just doing this for fun, right? But anyways, for people who takes this really seriously, they actually have to answer the question, what's their goal, right? Whether it's them entertaining people, making people laugh, making people cringe, literally, whatever it is, you have to set that goal. But you have to set that goal specific enough for you to not only just attract niches, but also attract like a whole bunch of other things. Okay, so while that happens, then you also have to ask yourself a second question, okay? Now, this is a big question. How much stuff do I, not post, but like, do I post, okay? Now, this is important, okay? If you post 10 videos a day, you're going to get 1 or 2 viewers per video, or maybe 100 viewers per video, depending on your subscribers. You're going to get less viewers. If you post less, you're actually more likely to earn more viewers, right? Why? Because you're letting that video sit and sink in for the general audience, for that general niche. Now, let's say you decide to go ahead and do 2 types of niches, okay? If you do 2 types of niches nowadays, especially back then, it's not as bad as most people think. When you do 2 niches, it's like, oh, it's fine, it's completely fine, everything is okay, right? Why? Because some people, when they build their channel, it's mainly on their own personality, and, it doesn't really have a niche, but they still stick within that specific niche that they put in. Meaning, if you're like a funny guy, sure, you can play a whole 1,000 different games, but your general niche is being funny. That's it. And if you If you change, your niche from being funny or personality, I guess, but I do call this part a niche, but from being funny to being serious, then people will actually leave because these people want to like just watch your videos to be funny, not for you being serious, right? So if you change it like right off the bat, people are gonna generally leave, okay? But what if you decide to go ahead and do 2 niches, and let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos a day, a whole bunch of videos with like 1,000 niches. You know what's gonna happen? It's gonna split your community apart. You're gonna have multiple communities, multiple segments. This sounds cool on paper, but you're actually earning less money. Even if you're earning more viewers, you would be actually earning less money because you're splitting your own community apart. Making games online and making content is literally for you, I'm being serious, for you to have one niche, one character, play that character for the rest of your life, right? That's literally it. That's literally what online presence is, right? Now, when you see games go ahead and do like 1,000 different niches and spend 1,000 different money, what's going to happen is they're earning less money even though there's more players playing the game. Also keep in mind other games cost more and less. Even then, they have to generate a certain amount of money for a certain amount of games, right? That, you know, it's not going to work for, you know, them making 1,000 games and only one game carrying it, because they're still going to earn less and less money. Now, let's say I decide to go ahead and go square one niche, one video a day, right? That's it, right? And I just post one video a day. I make this well-edited content. Perfect, right? What's going to happen is you're going to earn more viewers, but probably less viewers than you're earning 1,000 video, or if you make like 10 videos a day or something, but you're actually earning more viewers, right? Meaning you'll have more money, even if it's less viewers. Why? Simply because you're not splitting your community. There's no backlash. There's nothing. You're only focusing on that one specific thing. And even if there is backlash or something, even then, you're still focusing on that one thing. And that's why you're going to keep going and you're going to keep thriving, right? Within online presence. That's how online presence work, okay? You do one niche, one thing, and you do it for the rest of your life. And that's it, right? And whether your niche, and the niche isn't, now back then the niche was like Fortnite, Minecraft, right? No, niche is your character. Well, that's on YouTube. In games, the niche is like, you know, Battle Royale. Niche is like, just random stuff like Battle Royale, survival, all these stuff. If you go ahead and go on a different niche, what's going to happen is it's going to split the community apart. Even though the game could be more popular than ever, that will generate less money if you really think about it, because if your community is split apart, even though you're earning more money, most of these people will eventually quit. Sometimes even not quit, but have a stop of generating newer players, maybe high account players, but generating newer players to the point where eventually everyone's going to quit, boom, gone. And this is what Fortnite did. Fortnite spent a lot of money. Fortnite, you know, focused on a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of stuff, to the point where it's dead. It's gonna die. And you want me to tell you something? You want me to tell you what the next game will die? The next game is going to be Minecraft. I do believe that Minecraft will eventually die because of the same reason. Because they're focusing on, you know, the Minecraft movie. Actually, that's actually a good part. So I'm not going to say that one. But, like, the biggest example is Minecraft Dungeons and, you know, Minecraft World and all these stuff, right? They're focusing on all these things, but they're not focusing on what makes, you know, Mojang Minecraft, right? And I feel like Epic Games is doing the same thing, right? It's far worse than most people think, but it is true. It is true, right? If you do all of these things all at once, it's going to eventually catch up to you, and you won't make any money. You won't, right? You know, it's like, okay, it's like, there's a reason why second channels, you know, on YouTube fail than first channels, okay? When you have a first channel, most of the time it's 10 million subscribers. Sometimes, very rarely, second channel will hit more. Maybe, not all the time, right? Not like all the time, but usually the second channel will hit, you know, more, right? But occasionally, at the same time, like not like 80% of the time, you see second channels earning less, okay? It earns more if you have the same type of niche. But the reason why second channels actually earn less and possibly earning even less income is because you're on a different niche than what you're originally known for. So if I was known for being, I don't know, a wacky guy, and then I go ahead to being something, you know, super serious, I'm not, you know, my general niche is going to be that wacky, stupid guy, right? That's literally what it is, right? So all of this literally just comes from Fortnite not following their niche, and just their spending habits is terrible, right? Now, I don't have a lot of things to say about spending habits because I generally don't know what to say because I haven't done a lot of research and stuff like this. But all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be 100% honest here, all I'm gonna say, I think Fortnite's spending habit is ridiculous. It is. It really is. I think I heard the $100 million on Fortnite. Sure, it probably made more money, but the question is, you know, when they kept making these crazy new deals with, you know, collabs and all these stuff, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute. How are they generating more money? They have to be losing money. And then, literally, a few months later, I was right. You know what I'm saying? I really was right? So, anyways, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. Hope you guys, hope this video helped you guys a little bit why Fortnite is dying. I guess more importantly, I mean, if it helps you on YouTube, You know, take that advice, right? And again, don't make your, by the way, when I say something here, I'm going to say something really, really simple here. Don't make your content, you know, fake if you do want to start a YouTube channel. That's going to catch up really bad. Or like maybe force your character or something like that. Just be yourself and just have fun. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Same thing with Fortnite, Minecraft. Don't do all these crazy stuff, you know, focus on one niche. You'll be fine. It's actually better for a lot of games to focus on their, here's what I'm going to say. It's a lot better. It's a lot better for games and people to spend a lot less money than spending more money on multiple things, right? Like spend less money, right, on one thing than more money on multiple things, because sometimes that less money will generate to you more money and you can earn a living with that. But anyways, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? Anyways, that's it. Bye, guys.